Welcome to the deep dive. This time, we're plunging into a really fascinating slice of Grateful Dead history.
Yeah. What have we got?
We're looking specifically at the week of May 19th through the 25th.
Okay.
We've got the latest This Week in Grateful Dead History blog from GratefulDeadBook.com. And let me tell you, it's absolutely packed with gems.
Oh, excellent. I always look forward to those posts. They're a fantastic roadmap, really, through a significant number of shows.
This one covers 15, if you can believe it.
15 shows. Wow. And what's the date range?
Spanning, well, pretty wide range, actually, from 1969 all the way up to 1982.
Okay, so a really good cross-section. If you're looking for, like, a quick way to get a feel for some key periods and performances, this sounds like it.
Exactly. And if anything we, touch on sparks your curiosity, and trust me, it probably will, you can find incredibly detailed listening guides for every single one of these shows.
Right, over at GratefulDeadBook.com.
Yeah, the link's right there in the description. Think of it as your backstage pass to a ton of Dead knowledge.
What I think makes this particular week so interesting is just the sheer variety it covers. I mean, we're talking about officially released, must-hear recordings that people still rave about today.
Yeah.
And some intriguing connections to other music legends and even, well, those bittersweet moments, the final performances of some really beloved songs.
It really is like a microcosm of the whole Grateful Dead experience, isn't it? Absolutely. It captures so much.
Okay, so let's dive in. May 19th. The blog highlights 2 shows from this date that really stand out.
Which ones?
May 19th, 1974 in Portland, Oregon, and May 19th, 1977 in Atlanta.
Ah, okay. 2 heavy hitters right there. That Portland 74 show is a real touchstone for a lot of fans.
Right. It's part of the Pacific Northwest 73-74 box set.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's often praised for capturing that incredible wall of sound magic. What's really noticeable is how confident the band sounds, just totally in command.
Yeah, passionate delivery, right. You can almost hear the effect of that massive sound system on their playing. Definitely. And then, boom, just 3 years later, same date, you've got the Atlanta 77 show.
Dick's Picks, Volume 29.
That's the one. And, for anyone maybe less familiar, the Dick's Picks series, those were albums picked by the Dead's own archivist, Dick Latvala.
Signifying exceptional quality.
Pretty much guaranteed. So Volume 29 being from May 77, that tells you it's something special right away.
Yeah, 1977 is often called a peak year, right?
Oh, absolutely. And this Atlanta show is just another example of how incredibly tight and inspired their playing was during that time. It's a really flawless performance, great energy.
It's interesting, though, even in just 3 years, 74 to 77, you can hear those subtle shifts in their approach.
For sure. And May 19th also have a couple of other kind of unique historical markers.
Oh, yeah.
On that date in 1992, that was the first time they ever played Bob O'Reilly and Tomorrow Never Knows.
Wow. Okay.
But going back to that 74 Portland show we mentioned, that was also the final time they ever performed Money Money.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Talk about bookending moments on the same date across the years.
It really highlights that long, evolving journey of the band, doesn't it?
It really does. Okay, shifting focus now to May 20th. The blog puts a spotlight on the 1973 show at UC Santa Barbara's campus stadium.
73 Santa Barbara. That's a legendary one.
And this one's a big deal, right? The entire show, 3 sets, 31 songs, an afternoon gig was officially released.
Yep, as Here Comes Sunshine, 1973, and the sound quality is just perfect, pristine.
3-set shows were pretty unusual in 73, weren't they?
Yeah, quite rare. That alone makes it stand out. But it's not just the length, it's the quality of the performance that makes it so epic.
Right.
The blog really emphasizes the exceptional jams, that almost, telepathic musical connection between them that day.
A 12-song first set. That gives you a sense of the adventure right there.
Totally. Okay, moving on to May 21st, we've got a trio of shows here.
Right, 1974 in Seattle, 1977 in Lakeland, Florida, and then jumping ahead to 1982 back in Berkeley at the Greek Theater.
Okay, that 74 Seattle show, Edmondson Pavilion. That's another key part of that Pacific Northwest 73-74 collection.
And the second set is supposed to be the highlight.
Yeah, while the whole show is strong, the second set is particularly renowned. That's where you really hear the band just stretching out, getting into some truly fearless improvisation.
Powerful stuff.
Really powerful musical statements. It's a great example of the kind of risks they were willing to take live.
And then, keeping with 77, the Lakeland Civic Center show. That's also a Dick's Pick. Volume 29 again.
It is indeed. Shares that distinction with the Atlanta show we talked about. Clearly, Dick Latvala had a real fondness for this particular stretch of shows in May 77.
What stood out about this one, according to the blog? Any hints?
Well, the blog playfully mentions 23 very good reasons why Dick chose it. But seriously, it's described as incredibly energetic, start to finish.
Flawless first set.
Well, evidently so, yeah. A really strong, flawless first set, and just numerous moments where the band hits an absolute peak, the kind of show that just leaves you breathless.
Okay, then we leap forward to 82, first of 3 nights at the Greek Theater in Berkeley.
Ah, the Greek.
An iconic venue, right? Anyone who's been there knows that special atmosphere.
It really is, and the blog makes a crucial point. You'd be hard-pressed to find a bad Grateful Dead show from the Greek. They almost always delivered there.
So this first night of the 82 run kind of sets the stage.
Exactly. It establishes the energy for what was a consistently strong series of performances. You can feel their connection with that specific place.
And there's a little historical footnote for May 21st, too.
Yeah, Carter Beauford from Dave Matthews Band actually sat in on Drums with the Dead on this date back in 1995.
Huh. Always cool to see those cross-generational musical connections.
Definitely. Speaks volumes about the Dead's influence and the respect they commanded. All right, May 22nd.
We're back at the Greek in 82 for 2 more shows. Wait, 2 on the 22nd.
Ah, my mistake. 1 show on the 22nd at the Greek. We also have a 1977 performance from Pembroke Pines, Florida on this date.
Gotcha. And let me guess, that 77 Pembroke Pines show, is it a Dick's pick?
You got it. Dick's Picks Volume 3.
Wow. It just hammers home how many incredible shows Dick Ladvala brought out. What's the vibe on this one?
Well, again, it just points to that consistent excellence of 77. Now, contrasting that with the Greek show from 82 on the same date,
Yeah.
the blog notes that while both were strong, the May 22nd 82 Greek show had a sort of distinct bluesy undercurrent.
Interesting. Still energetic, though.
Oh yeah, still had the energy and improv you'd expect, but just a slightly different flavor compared to the first night. It shows those subtle nuances, even within a short run.
Okay, let's hit May 23rd, another busy one. 1969, 1972, and the final night of that 82 Greek run.
Right. Let's start chronologically. May 23rd, 1969, Seminole Indian Village in Florida.
That's on Road Trips Volume 4, Number 1.
Yep. Part of the big Rock Powwow Festival. Pretty interesting lineup, too, like Johnny Winter, Muddy Waters.
Wow. It's wild. Thinking about the Dead, playing those early kind of raw psychedelic festivals down in Florida.
Uh-huh. The blog even mentions how those early Florida gigs really cemented it as an important tour stop for them later on.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Jumping to 72, May 23rd, London, the Strand Lyceum.
Right. First of 4 nights there, smack at the end of the legendary Europe 72 tour.
Now, people often talk about the last show of that run, May 26th, as being the one.
They do, yeah. But the blog makes a really good point. You shouldn't overlook the other nights. There are truly exceptional moments scattered throughout that entire Lyceum run.
That's a great reminder. Focusing only on the quote-unquote best show means you miss other amazing stuff.
Exactly. The blog suggests that even in, perfectly played songs, there's often this extra bit of emotion or some fiery playing that makes each night unique.
Love that. And then finally for the 23rd, we wrap up the 82 Greek run.
Yeah, the third and final night. And the blog's description sounds like pure Dead magic. It had it all.
Like what?
Tight execution, fearless improvisation where they just go for it, and this undeniable sense of adventure. Sounds like a killer way to close out the run.
Definitely. Okay, we're heading into the final stretch now, May 24th. We're back at the Seminole Indian Village in 69 and the Strand Lyceum in 72.
Right, the second night at that wild scene of the big powwow in 69. Also on that Road Trips Volume 4, Number 1.
How's that one described?
As basically one long, continuous set of really vibrant, high-energy playing. You can almost feel the festival atmosphere.
Cool. And then back to London, the second Strand Lyceum show from 72.
Yeah, and the blog mentions this one maybe didn't circulate as widely among tapers back in the day.
Why's that?
Probably just more limited availability of good soundboard recordings compared to the other nights.
Oh, okay.
So the blog really recommends the official Europe 72. The complete recordings is the best way to hear this one now. Good reminder about those official releases.
Definitely. And importantly, May 24th is also a huge date in music history generally.
Ah.
Bob Dylan's birthday. He'd be 84 this year, born in 1941.
Wow, yeah. His impact, as the blog says, is just immeasurable. Always worth acknowledging his influence.
Absolutely. And speaking of 72, May 24th also marks a couple of really poignant final performances from that Lyceum show.
Right. The last time Pigpen ever sang Turn On Your Love Light.
And the final performance ever of Hurts Me Too.
Yeah. That adds a real emotional weight to that particular show, knowing that.
For sure. Okay, finally, we hit May 25th We wrap up the Strand Lyceum run from '72 and check out a 1977 show from the Mosque in Richmond, Virginia.
So the third of the 4 nights at the Lyceum in '72, the band was apparently operating at what the blog calls peak form.
Meaning?
Just incredibly fluid, dynamic music, totally locked in. They specifically call out the second set jam sequence as absolutely epic.
A must-hear moment. Sounds like classic 70 Dead.
Exactly, the kind of extended improv that defines the experience for so many people.
And then the '77 show in Richmond. The Mosque. That's Dave's Picks, Volume 1.
That's right, the very first volume in the current archivist Dave Lemieux's series.
The fact that this show was chosen as #1, that speaks volumes, doesn't it?
It really does. The blog basically calls it a peak Dead show during a peak time period and insists there isn't a single bad moment.
Just essential 77 Dead.
Pretty much, yeah. Considered essential by many.
And May 25th, '72 also had another final performance.
Yep, the final Sitting on Top of the World.
Wow. So across this single week, you see songs starting, songs ending.
Yeah.
It really highlights that constant evolution.
It's honestly striking when you look at it like this, the sheer depth and variety just within these 7 days.
Yeah, we've gone from like the raw psychedelic stuff of '69
to the refined power of the Wall of Sound in '74.
the tight energy of '77.
And that adventurous spirit of the early '80s. It's all represented right here in 1 week.
And remember, this overview, it's really just scratched the surface.
Oh, absolutely.
We really encourage you to dive much deeper. Check out those individual listening guides, the links in the description, this week in Grateful Dead history on gratefuldeadbook.com.
Yeah, you'll uncover way more details and those little aha moments in the guides themselves.
Definitely worth your time.
So thinking about this incredible range we've just talked about, all these different sounds and approaches across the years, just within this 1 week, what single element do you find most consistently compelling about the Grateful Dead's music?
Yeah, what is that enduring quality that keeps you, the listener, coming back to explore their huge musical world?
Yeah.
Something to think about.